Good morning. It's October 16th, 2014. My name is Frederick. It seems like every time a 6 shows up on a calendar, Obama is doing something satanic on television, lying to the American people. It seems like if you create enough fear on television, people will believe anything that you have to say. And you keep repeating that fear over and over again until people actually believe this atrocious formation of lies, tricks, deceptions, and criminal activity. I'm influenced today to speak to you because I watched Jack Lew, our treasurer, get on PBS and brag about Obama's investments, how he's lowered the GDP. Let's imagine this. Well, I'm going to tell you how he did it. And he did do it. He lowered the GDP. Let me explain to you how he did it. You see, the bailouts took about $8.5 trillion. Now, a lot of people don't realize how much money that is. For example, World War II cost about $3.2 trillion. The Civil War, $81 billion. Persian Gulf War, $94 billion. Korean War, $295 billion. World War I, $364 billion. Vietnam War, $670 billion. Afghanistan, $171 billion. Iraq War, $648 billion. Now they have something called Marshall Plan, right? $125 billion. Well, I'll tell you what that is. That's so that they can create martial law in the United States. The New Deal, $500 billion, same thing. Do you realize how much money $8.5 is? If you take that money and you kill people like chemtrails, smart meter radiation, fracking, stealing the water, right? You launch a nuclear attack by creating tidal waves with HARP weapons. You attack people with weather warfare, states, lend them money, and they have to pay you much more in return. They raise the cost of permits, taxes in those particular states. Because of the weather warfare, people seem to conform to higher costs when weather attacks them, not knowing that the warfare was created by the Obama and the Bush administration. So let me tell you what Obama did and his criminal cartel, Jack Lew. They took this money and they invested it mostly in AIG, insurance corporations, banking corporations, investments, a little bit to the car industry so that they can cover up their criminal activity, to say that, oh Lord, the car companies are dying out. But they even invested in particular things like GM. For example, they build Hummers. GM bought out Humvees so they can give to ISIS people. They build them, they invest in the corporation, they know that they have these purchase orders for ISIS. They build them secretly, they give them to ISIS. ISIS pays for them with our money, by the way, or let's say Rothschild money, which is our money. And now they're attacking ISIS after they sold them weapons, Humvees, and banking cartels invested in these specific corporations. It seems like if you steal a bunch of money and you know what's going to happen in the future because you actually create the future with your media, it seems like you can get really rich. So you steal trillions of dollars from the American people, and then you invest it in exactly what you plan on doing with the future because you control the world. The only place you don't control is Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. That's what Rothschild wants. He wants those banks. He wants to control the banking in those countries. Not only that, while he's there, he conveniently kills the bloodline of Jesus Christ, David, Solomon, all the original bloodlines of God, while he's taking over the banking cartel. Iran's literally fighting, just like JFK did and Lincoln, to be able to print their own money. Well, you can't do that. If you print your own money, we're going to come kill you. They killed Lincoln, they killed JFK. Greenbacks was Lincoln's idea, and the $2 bill and the $5 bill was JFK's idea. In other words, let's our country create our own money and let the interest come to us instead of going to the Rothschilds, one family, and the Rockefellers, and the Morgans and the Stanleys, all one family satanic bloodline, all Satanists, Satan himself. I would go on the record to say Jack Lew is Satan himself also, possessed by Satan. How can you steal all kind of money and get up on national television and say that you, through specific investments, what did Obama say? Complete disclosure, he said, right, when he was elected. Clarity, transparency, that was his key word. But Jack Lew says that he invested in specific investments. Well, Jack, what are those investments? You don't want to tell the American people what that is? Maybe Evergreen Airline? Let's take that for example. I'm just going to take one of their criminal activities, which to me is one of their biggest ones, besides smart meter radiation and Fukushima. Steering currents and dumping Fukushima on certain areas so that people get heart attacks and die, and other diseases. You know, they own the medical industry through Rockefeller, so they could just say what they want, and the doctor has a Hippocratic oath. If he doesn't say what Rockefeller wants him to say, then he is terminated. It's kind of like the education system that Rockefeller controls. If the teacher talks about the Bible, then she is terminated. No God allowed here, Rockefeller says, because I believe in Satan. So let's talk about Evergreen Airlines specifically. So it seems like if you dump harmful chemicals like aluminum and barium, manganese, on certain places in cities, because that's where they're spraying, in the cities, right? And those chemicals rain down on elderly. Number one, they get dementia immediately. So they've invested in these home care units, right? That's one of the banking cartels. So these people have dementia like my father does, and they're forced into care through government-financed programs. Isn't that special? Let's make people so stupid, because the elderly's immune system is so weak, and they're so filled with aluminum from the toothpaste and the food and the baby food. Their brain is so cauterized with aluminum that all we got to do is just dump a little bit more on them, and we can get them to that certain level of ignorance to where they can't feed themselves. And then they're forced into the nursing homes to where we can just steal all their money. Isn't that amazing what your president did? Isn't that incredible? I say that is satanic in all forms of life. This is why God is speaking truth to the people that He has chosen to speak the truth. I worked in the banking industry. I know a little bit about it. But I know enough to see what your president is doing. And I pray to God, and God says, well, this is what He's doing. And I tell you what God tells me through the purification of my body. I keep my soul purified as much as I can so I can speak truth to people. And just pray that our nation's CIA and NSA and our police, our local police, will wake up and realize that criminal banking cartel are coming for the United States as well. These bailouts weren't just in the United States. These bailouts were all over the planet. That's why they're spraying all over the planet. This is more for them and less for us on steroids times 1 trillion. This is the biggest banking criminal cartel that's ever happened in the history of the world. This is probably what the kings did in the days of the Romans. They forced laws on people, threatened to kill their firstborn if they didn't give everything that they owned, which is the same thing they're doing here. Because reproductive means our children with chemtrails are not even going to have children. We're so eugenicsed by chemtrails and food and water being poisoned by these people that we will not even have babies soon. Our teenage boys are taking Viagra. When I was young, I needed anti-Viagra. Now our kids need Viagra to have sex, teenagers. Are you kidding me? That's proof right there that we're being poisoned. Just selling Viagra, Cialis or whatever, just selling these drugs lets you know that they are killing our reproductive means slowly through flu shots, inoculations, and chemtrails, geoengineering, weather warfare, Fukushima, nuclear radiation. Goes on and on. So let's get to the heart of the matter. Why am I doing this? Jack Lew gets up there and bold-faced lies to the American people and says that Obama is fixing things. He's a hero, right? It seems that if you steal a bunch of money and then invest in certain corporations, you know in the future are going to make money because you are creating our future through inoculations, flu shots, poisons, knowing that these people are going to get sick. Chemtrails, fracking, Fukushima. Okay, we know that people are going to start dying, so we invest in insurance policies, secret, foreign, European, Bank of London insurance policies on the American people, and they die of respiratory illnesses, heart attacks, dementia, Alzheimer's, cancers. It seems like they can triple and quadruple their profits. So they steal from the American people, kill them, and then invest in their deaths, their slow deaths. And now, after 8 years of investing in slow death, it seems like they killed enough people to sit on PBS and say, yes, our program is working. Now, this is how sick Satan himself, the bloodline of Satan, Obama and his cronies, his criminal cartel is. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Hopefully you do. I've got to pause for a second because I'm just emotionally torn thinking about all the deaths that Obama created. Around the globe. Of elderly people. It seems like killing the wise people, killing their brains to where humanity could live just a short time, and never will people awaken consciously. If we can get the life expectancy from 1,000 years, because that's how long Noah lived, 1,000 years. He was having children at 800 years old. This is biblical fact. This is not some fiction. We now have a life expectancy, I would say with chemtrails, of about 65 years old tops, average. If you take the children that have cancer, and I would say in the next 25 years, that will be reduced down to about 45 years on average. They're killing people at rates beyond anything. Our children have cancer now. With the foods that they've launched on the American people, I would predict that children will die with cancers at a rate higher than anything that could ever be comprehended. Children. Because not only have their mother eaten poison foods, and their father, and their father's fathers, and their father's fathers, it seems like when you poison people for, let's say, 7 generations, you could take that life expectancy down a good 50 years, from 100 to 45 or so. And that's including all the wealthy people, of course. The poor people, if you take the poor people and you take their life expectancy, it's going to get down into like 35 years old average. So this is why I tell people spiritual warfare. This has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Way since the days of Noah. They've been poisoning us slowly. Noah lived to 1,000. So did Abraham, David. All of them lived that long. Because when you live that long, you become so wise and consciously aware. Tyranny cannot reign in the land. You have wise men walking the planet. More than you have complete sheeple. People we've got to gather as one. Obama and all of his criminal cartel belong in prison. And our sheriff's departments, our police, our state police need to stop taking money from government immediately and need to go arrest these criminals immediately. If you don't, your nation will be consumed for all of eternity. I mean complete slavery. I'm talking about people standing in line begging for water and you got to shoot them because they're thirsty. Local sheriffs, Capitol Hill, is that what you want for the American people, to stand in line and because they need water, you've got to kill them? Do you have any clue what that's going to do to your conscience when you start killing people because they're thirsty or they want some food? because of this criminal cartel network, because you failed to arrest the people that are creating this criminal cartel, stealing from the American people and profiting from their slow death. Investing in corporations that you know are going to kill them, from pharma to Evergreen Airline. Why is America allowing Evergreen Airline to spray our cities? Mr. Police Officer, your children are being sprayed. Mr. Congressman, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Senator, your children are being sprayed. What are they promising you, a miracle cure under the table? There's no cure for this. None. It affects your children's children's children. This is eugenics. Same thing Hitler did, and you're allowing it. I mean, you watch them steal the money. Now you're watching them brag about this happening. You've seen the planes spray the cities. I know you sheriffs out there, I know you know this. You swore to uphold the Constitution of America, but you're not doing that. You're upholding the water laws of Satan, maritime and admiralty law. You're not upholding the constitutional law. Why? Why would you want to uphold a foreign nation's laws? The Constitution was a divorce from these laws. And you've slowly allowed them back into your area, into your states, and now it's time to get rid of them because they're killing people. They're murdering people in your own country. And the more people they kill and the more people they make sheeple, the less you have to fight against them. You have to act now. You have to go and stop the planes from flying. Unite. The people will unite with you. We can stop the planes from flying. We can go arrest all these bankers in the United States. We can arrest the president. Arrest them. The LIBOR scandal alone should arrest all of these people. Why aren't you arresting them for creating a fictional FICO score, controlling the FICO score, and raising interest on certain individuals because they don't fit into the criminal banking cartel society? Poor people, stealing from poor people. Why don't you arrest these people simply for the LIBOR scandal? And then go arrest them for the bailouts. Once you get rid of the banking in your city, just like Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan, they're trying to fight against the banks. They're trying to uphold their own government's money system. And they're trying to protect the bloodline of Jesus Christ. If you read the Bible, you'll know that the bloodline exists. It's in black people, it's in white people, it's especially in brown people. And I'm talking about David had, I don't know how many sons before he had Jesus Christ. So there are hundreds of thousands of bloodlines of David all over the nations. And they're actually training you that the bloodline of David are religious quacks. When you read scripture to them, there's a light that goes off in their brain, and we need to eugenics the light out of the brain with shots and inoculations. That's what they're teaching you in your classrooms. Why would you want to kill the light in a human being? A light in their brain, a light that God created. The book of Enoch says that God was a light. So you're going to kill God in the brain of all humanity? This is what the Rockefeller administration is teaching the police, the college students, the colleges, the military to do. And they're using Iran and Iraq as a tool. Look, these religious freaks, they're not religious freaks. They're defending their own country's money system, and they're defending the bloodline of David, Solomon, all the way down to Jesus Christ. That's all they're doing, nothing else. The media is owned by these criminal cartels. You know, when you live in the heart and you love people, I love all people. I love my enemies as well. But hey, let's say I love Obama. I love him enough to lock him up in prison and try to put some God back into this beast. It's our duty to arrest this man and try to put God back on his life because he's eternally dead if we don't. He's been conformed to be a criminal all his life. He's hid his homosexuality. He's killed people to hide his homosexuality. They've killed people. Joan Rivers said that Michelle Obama was a transy, and she's dead a few weeks later. This is not an accident. Either the CIA hired her and she pretended to die, but when you say things like that, you have an ultimatum to hide the truth. They will force it on you. So maybe they're going to put some makeup on her, change her hair color, and next thing you know, she's going to be on some TV show talking about the New World Order. Or they just killed her. I don't know why you can't see that the Illuminati are part of the banking cartel. I don't understand why you can't see that what they're doing in Hollywood. Just study. Go and interview Randy Quaid. Just go interview the man. All of you sheriffs need to go interview Randy Quaid. And he'll tell you, before they kill him, who these people are. He did it publicly, and your media's covered it up. There's even rumors that Alex Jones... Well, number one, Jesse Ventura has a fake name. Not his name. He's a CIA agent, and he sells fear to the American people, keeping people with guns and ready to fight the police. That's what Jesse Ventura did. He's got people ready to fight the police. Alex Jones did the exact same thing. He's doing it right now. He's got people so living in fear that they're ready to shoot their own people. Because that's what the banking cartel wants. They can't wait till we start firing on each other, because no way is the 1% ever going to destroy people and God without your help. So I'm going to get back to the bailouts. I knew what this was as soon as it happened. I knew exactly what it was. Number one, I was in the car business, and I was from banking. I sold internet media advertising to car dealers across the nation. I was in meetings 3 times a week, probably, being educated on all the car dealers and what's going on. What they really did was kill the franchises. They killed independent car companies by the clunker program. That put out thousands upon thousands of independent car dealers out of business because they couldn't buy used cars at the auction anymore. Forced them out of business. American businesses forced them. They forced them back into the franchises. Now people only shop at the franchises instead of the independent car companies. See, the independent car companies put money back into your community. The franchises put money back into the pockets of the foreign dictators. So that's what the clunker program was about. Everybody's going, oh wow, this is so nice. You're destroying your country. You're destroying private business. And you've created globalized corporations. Now once you get rid of all these private sector car dealers, then the president can go up and say, yes, the cars are selling better. Because they only take statistics from the franchise dealers. It seems like if you murder a bunch of corporations, shoot them by stealing their cars and forcing people into the franchises through government stolen money, it seems like you can literally murder the local franchise dealers. It's like the CIA walked in and shot them all. There's no difference. It was murder. Yes, I am telling you that the clunker program was a murder to the local American businesses. They murdered them, and they sell it to you on TV like it's some kind of great program. Well, I know exactly what it was. And they gave money to the American car corporations. Chrysler, Ford, GM. So they can... What happens when you give somebody money? I'll tell you what happened in Katrina. When you give a city money, there's a lot of criminal stuff going on when you give them billions of dollars. Lots. They can arrest the good politicians because every one of them are criminals. And then they can replace them with the crooked ones. And then they can force a fascist, Marxist agenda, Satanist agenda on the thing that thrives in the city of New Orleans, the saints. Immediately after Hurricane Katrina, we have a fleur-de-lis as our symbol on the helmets and the shirts of all the fans and all the football players. Now we go on the Lord's Day and scream, "Yay, fleur-de-lis!" When you look at the fleur-de-lis and you research it, it's on the dollar. Go back to ancient Egyptian, it is Satan's flower. It is the uterus of a woman, a vagina of a woman. You look at the uterus of a woman and you put the fleur-de-lis next to it, you will see Satan's flower. What Satan is saying is that you're born into sin. Now you've got to escape and get out of sin and go to the light. Because as soon as you're born, the medical industry is injecting you with Satan's poisons. Ebola was injected into the children. And the reason why people are catching Ebola is because the chemtrails are lowering their immune systems. The virus is already there. People, wake up. It's been there. They put it there a long time ago. Watch Dr. Leonard Horowitz talk about the AIDS and Ebola, how it was created in a lab by Rockefeller administration. IG Farben, Hitler's regime, forced on the American people. It seemed like Hitler didn't die after all. You see, murdering people is how our government is making enormous profits for themselves, not for the American people. They're placing the American people back into debt. Because debt creates slavery. And fiat currency is a fictional currency. It doesn't exist. It's just printing money out of the air. I can take a tree and make some paper with it and print money. It seems like the tree of life is now money. They've turned the tree of life into a death sentence eternally for all of humanity. I will tell you right now, choose money or God. I will also tell you right now, choose love over fear right now. I am telling everyone to stop buying what these criminal cartels are selling. Possessions, throw them away. Stop celebrating Christmas and consuming goods from Satan. Christmas is supposed to be about the celebration of the birth of your Lord Jesus Christ, not Black Friday. And quit dressing up your kids in a pagan holiday called Halloween. Oh, it's so fun. No, it's not. It is a celebration on a calendar, a solar calendar, not a celestial calendar that Jesus Christ was on, but a solar calendar. They changed our dates. For God's sake, Halloween could be the birth of Jesus Christ, and you're walking around in monster suits. We don't even know what specific dates when Jesus died or was resurrected or when he was born, because we're on the wrong calendar. That's how much they've lied to us. Our cars run on water. That's how much they've lied to us. Hydrogen power is the power. It always has been. That's why they create atomic bombs with the water molecule, not lithium-6, because it's more powerful when you compress the hydrogen atom. Water is the energy. It always has been. When you come on a nation and water is free, it's all around you, God gave you the water, and they steal it from you by saying you need oil. That is the grand delusion of Satan. And it's the same thing that the banking cartels are doing. Your children in the next 50 years will say, "Mommy, Daddy, I wish I had a water well because the fracking corporations are stealing your water under a grand delusion of natural gas. Yeah, right. What a joke. They're stealing your water. Once you have no water, you can care less about a gun. This is how they conquer nations, controlling food and water. Isis is the goddess of weather warfare. She's also the goddess of water, stealing water, fracking. She's also the goddess of sun, solar radiation management. They actually take the sun and turn it into dirty energy. UV and UVB radiation. You go out in the sun and the elderly die. The children are dying slowly. It is like being x-rayed 24/7. Even indirect sunlight is toxic when you spray nano aluminum particulates, reflective metals, and you turn the sun into dirty energy. What is a fluorescent light? It is a gaseous, toxic, mercury-filled nanoparticulates that creates light, a certain type of light. It's toxic. Wake up, people. I will leave you with one thing. You don't arrest these people. Don't incarcerate them for their crimes. You're going to have to shoot your brothers and sisters of the world because they're going to have no food and water. I want you to think about firing on American people. Energy is free. Water is energy. Hydrogen power is energy. It's the most phenomenal energy, and it's pure and it's clean. They sold us a fictional electrical current. The electricity travels around the wires. It doesn't travel through the wires, people. It's free. That's their way of robbing you blind. Energy's always been free. So when they tell you they got to depopulate the world, it's a lie. It's a deception. Don't buy it. If energy is free and it's water, then you can have 100 trillion people on this planet if you want to. A single tree on the atomic level could power a city for a year. You talk about change the fiscal system. You talk about people having equal wealth. You talk about spreading the wealth to people when they know that water is the real energy. They're selling you a lie, people. Water is the energy. And you're going to kill people for water? All you got to do is transform your mind, escape this evil matrix, and wake up. If you're a police officer, if you're a CIA, NSA agent, if you're a sheriff's officer, a judge, slap yourself in the face 1,000,000 times and wake up. Water is free right now. And in a few years, they're going to control everything if we don't arrest these people. You've got to arrest these people. From the LIBOR scandal to the bailouts, it's criminal cartel. It's very easy to prove. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Once you gain your information, you should have it by now. Instead, you're surveillancing and arresting and private sectoring. You're surveillancing your own people. The criminals are the ones that give you a check. Follow the money. There's your criminal. It's not the American people. We're the victims. Wake up. When I watch people like Jack Lew sit there and lie to people, it hurts. I'm a passionate man, and quit arresting people because they're passionate. Jesus Christ was passionate. He got angry. He turned over the tables. He said, quit selling God's merchandise. It's free. It's the same thing I'm telling you. Water is free. And you can heat your house. You can cool your house. You can do anything with water. Hydrogen power. They've lied to you all these years. And it goes all the way to the religions, secret societies, Illuminati. They exist in the churches, the mega churches, the mega money churches, the Mormons, the Vatican. That's where the dictators of all this criminal activity is. That's where your wisdom comes from. That's where the hoarding of all the truth comes from. They've been hoarding it for thousands of years. The Roman Catholic Church. I will say Roman Catholic Church. I will say it again. Roman Catholic Church. Did you see what the Romans did to Jesus Christ? Now they're going to do it again to the truth. They want truth. People who speak the truth. They want them surveillance, stalked, and gang stalked, and killed. They want us dead. Again, you're going to kill the truth. You're going to hang them on a cross, and you're going to convince the world that we are liars when we're telling the truth. Jesus is a metaphor for your life. Noah, Moses is a metaphor for your life. What are they doing in Hollywood? They're changing the truth. They're redefining it. NASA is printing different clouds and teaching our children, ripping out pictures of what clouds are. They're changing history right before your eyes while you're busy trying to arrest black people in their neighborhoods because they've been sprayed these chemicals. They sell them certain food in that neighborhood. They've been spraying them with chemtrails for years. Now they're killing each other, and you're so busy arresting them that you're not arresting the real criminals that made the black people start shooting each other. The war on drugs was the control of drugs from the criminal cartels. Now the black people have to get the drugs from the doctors. The doctors are now the pill-pushing drug dealers that are murdering people. I personally have 3 friends in prison, and I've lost about 10 friends because of prescription drugs. Mentally, they're deranged. They're gone. Spiritually, they're dead. And I have watched several die because of prescription drugs. Why aren't you arresting the people who taught the doctors, Mr. Rockefeller, and all his criminal banking cartel, and all the pharma corporations that make a pill and say, here's a pill, take it. It masks the symptoms of your cancer, and it creates more problems down the line. They even expose it to you on TV. They got to spend more time telling you about the reaction to their chemicals that they put in the pill than they do on the healing or the masking. There is no more healing in the doctors anymore. The Rockefellers taught them to push pills and force shots on people. For God's sake, you go to a store and you buy cheese and it's half plastic. Everything is in plastic. Everything is in aluminum, and we know that it's toxic. But the corporations are forcing poison on the American people and all over the nations. Look what they're doing to Africa. They go over there, Bill Gates, look it up. Gates was Rockefeller's right-hand man. He was his financial advisor. He's the same as Jack Lew, a criminal. And now Bill Gates gets to create Microsoft because Gates, Rockefeller, was his right-hand man, which is his great-grandson. And he's going to Africa, killing people with shots. And on the TED convention, he stands up in public and brags about killing people. He was bragging about it. Yes, This is how I create wealth. I kill people, and then I invest in the corporations of the masking of the symptoms. And now our military is assisting the doctors in killing people. Yes, we have an Ebola crisis. Get the military down there, right? Get them down there and help the doctors kill people. It's a grand illusion and you're in it. Wake up. What I said was the truth. What I said is the words of God. I am not a God. I am not Jesus. I never claimed. I'm just a man. I'm a man who woke up. And there are many of us that have woke up. Thousands upon thousands of us that woke up. And they're trying to kill us. Maybe you're not awake yet. That's why I do these videos. But you need to be. Arrest everyone that's tied into the bailouts and the LIBOR scandal. Get rid of this criminal cartel banking in America. The 100-year charter is over. It's done. We can print our own money. We can go back to the Constitution and God's laws, and people will stop killing each other, I promise you. We can spread the wealth amongst the people, and we can create hydrogen energy. Right now, choose love over fear. Because the fears that you feel, that they've sold you in those classrooms, in your daily meetings, your police chief is selling fear to all the people because he doesn't know what the hell is going on. He's been lied to, and they've been lied to. You're all being lied to. Go arrest Jack Lew and everyone associated with his criminal activity. Arrest Obama. We don't need a freaking president. Why do we need a president? The states can take control of their own place. I'll tell you, if you don't arrest them, I'm going to tell you what they're going to do. Tidal waves, earthquakes. They're probably going to split the United States right down the middle up the Mississippi River so they can open up the waterways from Canada. Louisiana will disappear. Mississippi gone. Florida gone. Alabama gone. Parts of Texas, California gone. History. The whole East Coast gone. They're doing it right now. They're digging underground. They're burying electrical mind control cables in certain areas. Go to Denver Airport and you can see their criminal activity. Just go. I've been there. I've seen it. Go, drive there. Mountains of rock from digging underground. So they can create a giant grand illusion and convince people that God has destroyed their planet. And they can convert them to paganism. The Pope has a hat of Dagon, the fish god. Satan came from the ocean. He was casted out of the sun into the ocean. He was the dragon. Dagon, dragon. It's paganism, people. Wake up! Do you really want to see Louisiana disappear? Do you really want to see? Oh no, that's not going to happen. This guy's crazy. Yes, it is going to happen. It is going to happen. The Navy has printed a map of what they plan on doing. It's in the public. It's been broadcasted all over the internet. U.S. Navy future map of the United States. Look at it. And that's just the United States. They're going to do this around the globe, the whole world. They're going to be dividing and blowing up continents while they're hiding underground pushing buttons. We're dealing with nuclear fallout, shooting each other, killing each other for food and water because it's all nucleated and poisoned. The postman is going to be a dream come true. The real nightmare is the postman times 1,000. Watch the movie The Postman. You haven't seen nothing. That's many years after their disaster. To those feel like I've raised my voice, that I'm angry. I'm not angry. This is called passion, called love. I love you so much that I raise my voice. Don't let these Rockefeller-trained psychologists, liar, drug pushers, poison pushers tell you that I am angry. There is not anger. This is truth. And I'm passionate about truth. And if I raise my voice, it's because I love you. Selflessly, I love you. I am sharing love. And I love you more than you know I do. I have given my life. I told God a long time ago, I said, God, if I start talking like this, they're going to arrest me. They're going to surveillance me. God said, well, do you want to do what I ask you to do, or do you want to not do it? I said, God, I am going to serve you. And I'm going to do what you ask me to do, no matter where it takes me. No matter if people come into my house and murder me or not. No matter if when a hurricane hits, they come and arrest me, or look for me, or hunt me down. Because natural disasters, you seem like they can get away with anything. I've seen that firsthand in Katrina. They can steal guns. They can do anything. They can kill people. They can blow up levees. And drown them out. And then the TV can say, look, we're down here rescuing them, and the government's not even there. It's all pre-designed, green screen bullcrap to the American people. They weren't even there, but they were showing pictures of them there. Bush never set foot on the Katrina virus. You need to watch David Christian Anderson about the Katrina virus. Go to the internet and type in Katrina virus. This is real. This guy names every person that he told about the truth that denied it. He names them all. And yeah, you governors, you're sitting there going, oh, well, I don't want to be arrested. Really? Let me tell you something. You either arrest yourself or you watch billions of people die around the world. I would much rather sit in a prison and watch people die when I had the ability to save them. You have the ability to save lives. Act upon it. If not, you are going to take a gun and shoot yourself in the head, I promise you. Because the suffering that will come to you knowing that you could have stopped this is going to be so far beyond anything that you can imagine that you're going to beg for a bullet. You're going to beg. You're going to walk up to people and say, please shoot me. I beg you to shoot me because I can't take the physical, mental pain anymore of knowing that I could have stopped this. It's going to get worse. The Katrina virus was nothing. That was a test. And if you cover up the test, watch what's going to happen after the test. They always test. I work for the corporation medias. They launch their tests. And then they launch the real product. Full force. No turning back. Once they launch the real product, it's either sell or die. Katrina was nothing compared to what's coming. You think you're suffering from hiding a little information about Katrina? Wait till what's coming. This is not doom or gloom. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a fact. What the banking cartel are doing. Arrest them now. My name is Frederick Wust. This is my testimony of truth. I can see it very clearly. It comes to me in the night while I sleep. It comes to me in my prayer. It comes to me when I connect to the Schumann cavity resonance of the Mother Earth. The energy of truth is all around you. Seems we don't even need a school or a college. All we have to do is focus on God and our brains connect to our original DNA. That's how Einstein, that's how Newton and Tesla and Jesus and Noah and Moses and Abraham and David connected to wisdom. There is not one college needed for that. All we need is God in our lives, and we no longer kill each other. We no longer steal or hoard or lie or deceive. All we need is God. That's it. Nothing else. And everything fits into place.